Hi, it's me. I did a video close to 2 years ago. I had been diagnosed with ADHD combined. I had started taking Biphentin, and here we are 19 months later, and I switched stimulants. I went from Biphentin to Foquest. So today I'm going to talk to you a bit about my experience. I wanted to do this because when I was about to switch, I Googled Foquest. You know, we all Google a lot, but I Googled Foquest. There's not much information out there. It's a stimulant that's new or fairly new, and that has been recently approved in Canada, maybe 2-3 years ago. It's not covered in Canada by, in Quebec by the Quebec healthcare insurance, whatever. But if you have private insurance, check. A lot of them cover it. I gotta say, Foquest versus Biphentin for me, wow, awesome. So far, it's only been 2 months I've been on them. First of all, Foquest can last up to 16 hours. I feel like it's much smoother than Biphentin. I don't even know if you can say it's smoother. I don't know if it's a proper term for stimulants, but that's how it feels. I feel like there's less of an edge on it. And if I think back when I started taking Biphentin, I loved it. But it was the first stimulant ever I took. So of course I felt so much better than I did before. I could focus, I could function, I understood what I was reading. Biphentin was awesome. It worked really well actually for a while until it didn't. It didn't. Maybe a year ago it started going up and down. I have problems with my thyroid too, and so I would increase my thyroid med and then lower my Biphentin and then increase Biphentin and lower thyroid. It went on until 2 months ago, to the point, at one point, I went to see my doctor. I said, listen, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm going crazy, you know, from a few days the stimulant's working and then it's not. And then 2 months after, I have to switch dose. I was always adapting. I never felt like I was the same person anymore. It was time to switch. I wasn't sleeping anymore. I was overthinking again. I was starting to get anxious and overthinking during the day when I would be having conversation. And I'd be a little bit more impulsive. So it wasn't working for me anymore. Biphentin, we tried every dosage. And when I spoke to my doctor, she actually went back again. She thought maybe you're depressed, maybe you're anxious, because of how I was explaining my symptoms. I've been seeing a behavior specialist, and I'll just do a little pause. I'm not going to talk about Foquest, but I think I said in my other video, but the stimulants is 50% of what's going to help you when you have ADHD. The other 50% is really working on yourself. I went to see a few therapists that claim to know a bit about ADHD or claim to know ADHD, and you know, they were all helpful in different ways. But I felt like they knew this much of it. All of them knew this much of it in different ways. They had their views and ways to help me. But then I found a behavior specialist who specializes in trauma and in ADHD. And I've been seeing her for quite a while now, and she's been the most helpful because she really understands ADHD. Where I'm going with this is that my doctor wanted me, once again, to go on antidepressant or anxiety pills. I knew it wasn't that. So I had a whole session with her, with my behavior therapist, to discuss it and telling her, listen, if I'm in denial, tell me, but I don't feel... And she asked me a bunch of questions. And what she taught me over time also is that with ADHD, language is key. What I was telling my doctor wasn't clear. The doctor is not there to try and understand what's under or why. The doctor takes symptoms and they classify it towards something and medicate you. When I spoke with my behavior therapist, she's like, tell me more about why you're not sleeping. And as we were talking, she's like, okay, but you got to tell your doctor differently. You got to tell her at night, I can't sleep because I think so much. But what I think about has no impact in my life. You're not feeling depressed. You're not anxious. You're just thinking, overthinking, and wondering how everything works. And then we went through other things that, I was like, oh, I'm doing this and I think it's anxiety. And she was like, no, that's impulsivity. So through that session, I was able to take notes. She would help me into how to say the right language to my doctor so that my symptoms that I was explaining to my doctor were the correct ones. And that's how we ended up, choosing Foquest. When I said I don't want, she wanted to put me on Strattera. It's a third line stimulants. I had only tried one stimulant. There's no reason to go to third line if I haven't tried other stimulants. And that's how we went towards Foquest. Foquest is amazing. So I'll just wrap it up. But Foquest is amazing because it lasts up to 16 hours. Sometimes less if you don't drink enough water or didn't sleep well. But I mean, it's smooth. You're the same the whole day. I don't have drops in the afternoon. I don't need those extra coffees in the afternoon. I can stop working at 5, and if I want to work a little bit later at 7, 8, I'm still able to focus. It helps enormously with emotional regulation. Biphentin helped too, but this one, I don't know. It's just so much smoother. I'm hypersensitive. I feel everyone's emotions around me. I can't watch a movie with violence. I feel it inside of me. With Foquest, that hypersensitivity is not as intense, so it actually feels weird. Sometimes I'm like, am I cold? But actually, it's normal, and I feel better. I don't feel as emotional about everything. I don't feel as edgy. I don't think as much as night, so I sleep much better. There's no drop in the afternoon. I think I said that. And so far, it's been awesome. It's only been 2 months. If anything changed, I'll be back. But I was discouraged. 2 months ago, I was like, this is never going to stop. Can't I just be normal for a while? And this Foquest is just making me feel so much better. And that's it. I wanted to share it because there's not a lot of info on the web. And don't give up, but invest in yourself and do everything you can to be on the right stimulants, to find the right tools to feel better.